Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We are thrilled to have you join us. My name is Hồng, and I'll be one of the speakers in today's event. I'll be presenting together with my colleague, Ms. Huyền. We are both from Tilaki and Gipin's handle office. Today, we'll be diving into international industrial design registration, designating Vietnam, a subject that's both timely and important. We are confident that you'll find the insights shared today valuable and thought-provoking. Before we begin, just a few housekeeping notes to help the session run smoothly. This webinar is being recorded. All participants are currently on mute to minimize background noise. We encourage you to engage with us by asking questions. Please use the chat function located at the bottom of your screen. All questions will be addressed at the end of the session. If we run out of time, we'll follow up via email. Your feedback is incredibly important to us. At the end of the webinar, a QR code will appear on screen. Please take a moment to scan it and share your thoughts. With that, let's get started. First of all, we would like to introduce some information about our firm. Tilaki and Gibbons is named a premier law firm for doing business in Southeast Asia. We provide full-service legal solutions for the top inventor and high-growth companies that drive the region's economic growth. We have served clients in Southeast Asia since 1890, and we currently have more than 250 lawyers and consultants practicing in Thailand, Indonesia, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam. The first law firm had been in Vietnam in 1992. Now, let's move to the first part of our presentation. How familiar with the Hague system? The Hague system for the International Registration for Industrial Design provide a practical business solution for registering up to 100 designs in 99 countries by filing a single international application. According to WIPO data updated to the 7th of January 2025, the Hague system comprises 82 contracting parties. This includes individual countries and intergovernmental organizations. Vietnam is a member of the Hague system. On the 1st of October 2019, Vietnam filed an instrument of accession to join the Hague Agreement concerning the international registration of industrial design. The Hague Agreement officially took effect in Vietnam on the 30th of December 2019. The Hague system brings a lot of advantages for business and designers. Some of the key benefits include simplicity, cost and time efficiency, flexibility, centralized management, and encouragement for global business. Now I'd like to hand over to Ms. Huyền, who will share some filing trends. Over to you, Huyền.
Thank you, host, for the clear introduction on the Hague system. My name is Huyền, and now I will take you through filing trends and practical issues. We will see statistics on registration designating Vietnam compared with direct filing. Let's begin with the raw statistics. Here we can see the filing trends in Vietnam from 2020 to 2024. In 2020, the first year after Vietnam joined the Hague Agreement, there were 271 designations, about 8% of total filing. By 2024, the number had more than doubled to 574, raising the share to over 13%. Direct filings, however, had consistently remained much higher, between 3,200 and 3,800 each year. We should also note the impact of COVID-19 from 2020 to 2022. Filing slowed down, but from 2023 on, both higher and direct filing increasing again. Overall, Hague filing are clearly growing, but direct filing continue to dominate the Vietnamese filing landscape. After looking at the overall number, let us now see who is actually filing in Vietnam. First, let us look at the statistics for national application filed directly in Vietnam. According to the figure we often from Weibo public, Vietnamese applicants account for the majority, over 67% of all national design application filed with the IP office. Other countries make up a relatively small proportions. Japan at around 9.4%, Korea at 5%, the US state at 4.5%, and the rest below 4%. To get the full picture, let's compare it with statistics for international application designating Vietnam. These figures are taken from the Hague Express database. The picture here is very different. China accounts for the largest share, nearly 24% of Hague designation to Vietnam. This is followed by Switzerland, France, Korea, and the US, is contributing between 10 and 30%. Japan is at around 10%, while Germany, Italy, and the UK is contribute less than 5%. Interestingly, Vietnam itself hardly used the Hague system to designate its own territory. Only 3 applications were filed over 5 years. This shows that Vietnamese applicants prefer direct filing, while foreign applicants rely heavily on the Hague system to extend protection to Vietnam. This explains why direct filing remains strong. Most filing from Vietnamese applicants using the national route. And now, Mr. Hong will come through with the next slide.
Thank you, Huyền, for the statistics. Let's move to the third part of our presentation. We will see how the Hague application is processed in Vietnam. The amendment to Vietnam's IP law, along with Decree 65 and Circular 23, were introduced not solely to harmonize with the Hague Agreement, but to establish a comprehensive legal and procedural framework for handling international industrial design applications. This change aims to simplify administrative procedures, enhance transparency, and align with global trends in design protection, while reserving Vietnam's specific national requirements. Next slide. Hague application and the procedure for handling Hague application in Vietnam are stipulated in Article 22 to 24 of Decree 65. In Article 22, Hague application includes Hague application designating Vietnam and Hague application originating from Vietnam. Within the scope of this presentation, we focus on the procedures for processing Hague application designating Vietnam as stipulated in Article 24 of Decree 65. Now let's move on to Article 24 about the processing of Hague application. This is a flow chart of the processing. After the International Office receives the industrial design registration, the application will be examined, formally and published by the WIPO. When the Vietnam IP Office receives a notification of the International Office, the IP Office shall process the application. In the examination, the international registration or Hague application will be treated as a national design application. Within 6 months from the date of the publication date of the international registration, the Vietnam IP Office can conclude the patentability of the industrial design specified in the application. The following action may be taken: acceptance of protection, refusal of protection, and withdrawal of refusal of protection, as shown in the flowchart. We will now present each step of the process in detail. The first situation, in case the industrial design specified in the application meet the requirement for protection according to the law of Vietnam and the application does not have any deficiencies. The Vietnam IP Office will issue a decision to accept the protection within 6 months from the international publication date. The decision will be published on the IP process within 2 months from the date of the decision. The Vietnam IP Office will also send a statement of grant of protection to the International Office, and the International Office will send a copy of the statement to the applicant. Please note that the Vietnam IP Office issued 2 related documents: a decision to accept the protection for internal procedure and a statement of grant of protection for sending to the International Office. The second situation, in case the industrial design does not meet the requirement for protection or the application had deficiencies, the common refusal will be represented by Ms. Huyền later. The Vietnam IP Office will issue a notification of refusal specifying the content and reason for the refusal within 6 months from the publication date. The notification of refusal will be sent to the International Office, and the International Office will send a copy of the notification to the applicant. The applicant will have 3 months from the date of the notification to amend the deficiencies or object to the refusal of the Vietnam IP Office. The due date can be extended for 3 months if a request for extension of time and an extension fee are filed. The response to the notification of refusal will be carried out similarly to the procedure applicable to the national design application. That is, the applicant will authorize to a local IP office, to local IP agent to file the response with the Vietnam IP Office. In this case, a power of attorney from the applicant to the IP agent is required. The deadline for submitting the POA is not specifically stipulated in the Vietnamese regulation. Therefore, it may be filed at or after filing the response. However, it should be filed promptly to avoid a request from the Vietnam IP Office. For design application that includes several designs where some meet the protection criteria and others do not, the Vietnam IP Office will issue a notification of refusal for the design that do not meet the protection requirement or still contain deficiency, and issue a decision to accept the protection and a statement of grant of protection for the design that satisfy the protection requirement and have no deficiency following the two procedures mentioned above. The IP Office will conduct the examination of application after receiving a response to the notification of refusal from the local IP agent. In case the applicant provide qualified amendment to deficiencies and or reasonable objection within 3 month time limit, the Vietnam IP Office will issue a decision to accept the protection regarding any design that meets the requirement for protection. A copy of the decision is sent to the IP agent. The decision will also be published on the IP Gazette within 2 months from the date of the decision. The Vietnam IP Office will also issue a statement of grant of protection to the International Office to forward to the applicant. In case the applicant failed to amend deficiency or provide inadequate amendments, does not have any objection or provide inadequate objections regarding the refused industrial designs after the 3 month time limit, the Vietnam IP Office will issue a decision to refuse the protection for such designs. The decision to refuse the protection will be sent to both the International Office and the IP agent. The applicant has the right to file an appeal within 90 days from the date of receiving or aware of the decision. The procedure for filing and resolving appeal against the decision will be carried out in the same manner as though applicable to national design application. In case several or all of the previous refused design are accepted for protection as the result of the appeal settlement, that is to say, the decision on refusal is withdrawn, the Vietnam IP Office will send a statement of grant of protection to the International Office, which specifies the designs accepted for protection. The final point of Article 24 is the requirement of priority document. In this point, priority document need to be filed with the Vietnam IP Office within 3 months from the publication date of the international registration. If the applicant fails to submit the priority document or has such a document refused by the Vietnam IP Office, the application can be considered not claiming priority rights. The submission of priority document is via a local IP agent, and a POA of the applicant is required. For your information, as Vietnam is not a member of the WIPO Digital Access Service, a DAS code is not accepted in place of a priority document. Instead, the Vietnam IP Office requires a priority document in paper. Normally, a certified copy of the priority application is required. The IP Office may accept a printout of an electronic priority document with identification or authentication code if it not provided as a hard copy. In practice, at present, the IP Office still accepts a late submission of the priority document. To continue, Ms. Huyền will share common refusal for his application. Please go ahead, Huyền.
Thank you, Hong, for the clear explanation of Degree 65. Now I will take you through practical issues. We have just seen that Hague filing are growing, but still a minority. Let us move to practical challenge. The most common refusal by the IP office and how to handle them. We would like to mention the include subject matter. Under Article 64 of Vietnam IP law, there are certain subject matters that are not protected as industrial designs in Vietnam. First, external experience of products that are fully technical, for example, a skills bureau or the tips of needle. The second, appearance of construction works such as building bridges. Third, internal parts not visible in normal view, like an engine inside a machine. In addition, Vietnam does not protect local class 32 designs combining logo, surface pattern, on ornamentation, or GUI. They are considered intangible products and cannot be circulated independently. In Vietnam, there are simply no way to protect class 32 designs under the design law. Therefore, currently, it is very difficult to overcome refusals to include the subject matters in Vietnam. This is important for foreign applicants because in some jurisdictions they are accepted, but in Vietnam they fall outside the scope of protection. One of the most common refusals is about the description. If it does not list all appearance forming features necessary to identify the design, examiners will refuse. If it contains disclaimer, it's directed at a partial design. If the applicants contain multi-designs, but there are not any statement indicating that they are similar embodiments of the same products or belong to the set of products. Therefore, it does not meet the requirement on the unity of design. Most high registration Designating Vietnam received this refuse because Vietnam requires very detailed descriptions. The solution is to prepare a new specification, remove disclaimers, and clarify which design is the main one. Vietnam is now drafting legal amendments to simplify this requirement so applicants may face fewer refusals in the future. Under Article 4.13 of the IP law and Article 21.1 of Circular 23, the claim object must be a complete product that can circulate independently. Therefore, particular designs are not accepted. Disclaimers and broken lines in drawing are not allowed. The examples shown here contains broken lines, so the claim design is not considered a whole article and will be rejected. To overcome this objection, the applicants should consider converting all broken lines into solid lines to claim the entire product. But the particular designs are not protected in several countries. Practical design are protected in several countries and regions such as the EU, the US, Japan, South Korea, and China. Vietnam is currently considering amending its law to allow protection of particle designs as well as the design of local class 32 and to simplify description requirements. We will update you when these legal changes become available. Sometimes reproductions are not enough to determine the design. Under Vietnam's regulation, a set of photo of design application should be in the order of perspective view, front view, rear view, right view, left view, top view, and bottom view. This is an example for a design registration which meets the perspective view. To overcome this objection, we need to submit the missing drawing. Unity is another ground for refusal according to the IP law. A design application could can contain multi-designs if they belong to a set of products or they are similar designs of the same product. On the contrary, if an applicant contains multi-designs that are significantly different from each other and do not belong to a set of products, then they are not acceptable in multi-design application, but need to be filed in separate application. For example, a set of tableware where a pattern of the same motif or mode of expression is represented on its constituent article. A set of electric and electronic appliances where the steps of all constituent article have the constant order or tongue. The basis for them to be considered set of products is that they must have the same idea of structure, layout, and decoration of the product. This is an example for design significantly different from each other. The applicants do not meet the application do not meet the requirement on the unity of design since it contains multi-different design group. That groups should be filed in separate applications. To overcome this objection, we can either keep one group in the current application and file divisional applications for the other group, or cancel the other groups for one group to be further examined, or file arguments that the own designs are similar and they should be filed in the same application. In the most case, option 1 and 2 work better. Or option 1, the applicant submits a statement to slip one or several industrial design in the application to one or more divisional applications. The Vietnam IBA office will slip the application and issue decisions and notification of the divisional application independently from the parent application. To be protected, a design must be new and different from prior art. If your design is considered to have existed in prior art or lack the significance different from existing designs, it will be refused. Refusions in international and national applications are addressed similarly. To overcome this objection, we should conduct a comparative analysis to identify the distinguishing features and provide argument to demonstrate that these features are essential design features. We also need to convey the IB office that difference between the class design and various art design are essential apparent framing feature. Finally, for the comprehensive response, some comments on the creativities of the design that is aesthetic effects redundant by the distinct essential apparent framing features should be provided. Now let's look at an example for refusal for lack of novelty. On the left is a prior design, a company mouse from 2020. On the right is the claims design filed in 2023. The examiner refused the application because the two designs are almost the same without significant difference. To be protected, a design must show a clear and substantial difference from what already known. Even if a design is new, it may still be refused for lack of creativeness. If the design is only a simple combination of no feature, it is not considered creative. To overcome objection of design creative, the applicant should provide arguments regarding the following masters. The aesthetical appearance forming feature of the present design is unknown and not significantly different from those of the reference designs. And the combination of the aesthetical appearance forming features of the present design is not merely a simple combination, but also for certain aesthetic purposes. Such combination including replacement, permutation, and increase or reducing of quantity, intentional creative, producing distant aesthetic effect. This slide illustrates an example for refusal for lack of creativeness taken from CPO examination guideline. On the top, we see two publicly known table designs. One had the raw blue tabletop with thin legs, while the other had a wooden rectangular tabletop with thicker legs. The fries design shown at the bottom essentially combine these known elements around table with wooden feature and lab. The examiner concluded that this combination doesn't create a significantly different overall impression compared to the previous table. Therefore, the application was diffused for lack of creativeness. The key takeaway here is that simply combining familiar feature from existing designs without producing a new aesthetic impressions will not meet the requirement of creativeness. This is the end of my part. Thank you for the attention and goodbye for now.
Goodbye.